Badger fans, I am excited to get this one. We got one of the dudes on the basketball team coming on the show. Talk about it, what Xavier Amos's game looks like, how it fits into Wisconsin, why did he end up in Madison? Plus, some of your questions that you had for him coming up on today's Locked On Badgers. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is good, Badger fans? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping us build this community. As always, today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Make sports just a little bit more exciting. Please do it responsibly. But right now, FanDuel's hooking up all customers with a boost or a daily bonus. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And listen, I always say this, when we get the great guests on, man, we don't waste any time. We get right into it. We got Xavier Amos coming on the show. Part of that big time portal class coming in. Xavier, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me, most definitely.
I want to just start here. So we always just start with scouting the game. How would you scout your game?
I say I do a little bit of everything on both ends. I feel like one of my, strongest, things about me is the fact that I can shoot and I can stretch the floor, which really does open up a lot of other things like I can do on the court, such as driving or, getting other people open. Just the fact that I can space the floor at my size is just, it's very hard to guard. And then defensively, I feel like I can guard, 1 through 4. I can go defense, switch on screens, help out for, off ball blocks and, things like that. And I just feel like I'm very versatile on both ends of the floor.
Well, let's start with the offensive game. Shot 38.5% from deep last year on volume. I think to me, you're a very modern player, right? It's threes, it's deep range. I mean, 25, 26 feet where you're really stretching the offense in transition. But then you mentioned your ability to get to the cup. So when they have to close out on you, you can take the slower bigs off the bounce, get to the cup. I feel like you are a very modern wing, a very modern big. Does it feel like you fit this version of basketball really well?
Yes, I do. I feel like I expanded my game a lot, especially since my freshman year. Like I wasn't really much like in high school. I didn't really shoot many threes at all. So just since I've been in college, I really made sure I improve on shooting so I can because I know shooting threes is a big part in the modern offense, and a lot of teams want people that can shoot. So yeah.
How much time did that take? Like, when did you go from, you said early on you didn't shoot a lot. How many years did it take for you to become that really confident three-point shooter?
So my freshman year I was injured, so I didn't really do much of anything. I had a summer workouts, and then after that I didn't really I wasn't really playing too much. So from that time after rehab, from like March 2 years ago, I want to say, whenever my freshman year was in March, that's when I really started working on my game a lot, improving on all the things I needed to improve on. And that's when I really got the confidence to, be able to step up and make shots.
One of the impressive spots with your game from the shooting standpoint, and again, you jump into synergy, you're in the 89th percentile on jump shots, which is obviously an elite number, 73rd percentile at the rim. Really, all your offensive metrics are very, very strong. One of the really impressive things with your game, though, is you're shooting with people on you. You're not just a catch and shoot guy. You've really developed the ability to shoot with somebody right on top of you, unless they're really all over you, and then you drive by them. At what point, especially in Northern Illinois, did you say, I'm going to start taking some of these contested threes and really start stressing the defense?
I just honestly, I just got the confidence. Like I say, I did it probably a few times, and then I realized like, oh, I can really just shoot over them. Like I'm really like realizing my size. I'm like, oh, I can really just shoot over them. So it's really just just confidence I got because, and then just a lot of reps, in the gym. Working with my teammates a lot, just getting up reps. That just really got my confidence up, and really I could just feel like I can shoot from anywhere.
Another part of your game I thought was pretty interesting, and it doesn't feel like you did it a lot in Northern Illinois, but your post game. Definitely somebody you go to a little jump hook. You have the ability to drop spin and go baseline. Is that something you think is maybe a part of your game that you want to show a little bit more?
Yes, so actually, that's probably the mid post is probably my favorite place to work out of. I feel like not on the block, but not like out on the three, just in that mid area where I can face up, jab. I can make a little mid range jump shot, or just, one dribble, two dribble, get to the rim. Like, I feel like that's my, my favorite spot to work out of. And I'm still working on that. I started doing that a lot last year, and I wasn't really doing that before. So I've been working on that a lot this summer and, this past spring.
Is that something maybe this coaching staff has talked to you a little bit about? Wisconsin's definitely a school that likes to go down in the post. They like to also bring their bigs out, obviously to stretch the floor, but they'll definitely play through the post. Is that something that you think Gard is going to use you there?
Most definitely. I think Coach Gard will use me in a lot of different ways. We talked about it a little bit, on my visit, and then, since I've been here, he wants to put me in a lot of different situations, offensively and defensively. So I'll probably, be in the mid post, a little bit.
And that's a question I mentioned. We had a lot of questions. Not Caleb asked, what do you think for your role in the offense this year?
I can't really tell you. I mean, I've talked to coach, and it's a lot of different things. You can see me on the wing, playing the 3, or you can see me in the trail spot playing the 4. Setting screens, popping, or sometimes coming off screens. Making decisions, catch it off the rim, just start to initiate the offense. So a lot of different. I feel like I can play in a lot of different situations. So I don't have one specific role. I don't know yet, but we'll see.
Well, I think it speaks to what you said initially, right? It's the versatility. Like you run the floor really well, you space out, you are active in the pick and roll, you can finish at the rim. And we talked about the post game, so there's really a lot of options there. Let's talk about kind of the journey to Wisconsin. And one of the questions we got was there a point at Northern Illinois where you kind of felt like I want to see what else is maybe out there?
I just really just after the season, I had talked with my parents, and just as the season was going on, I feel like I was having a pretty good season, and I wanted to see, because I played against Northwestern, Iowa, some Big Ten teams, and and not even just Big Ten, but high major teams. I played Marquette too, so I just wanted to see how I would do at this level, if I'll be able to hang with these guys, and I feel like I can. I have the confidence that I can. So that's really why I want to jump in the portals, see my options.
And there are a lot of schools that reached out, obviously talented big men that can shoot. That's a commodity in basketball. What was it about Wisconsin, maybe specifically the coaching staff, that kind of led you down to Madison?
I think my game fits offenses. My game fits Wisconsin's offense, very well. As far as how they run their offense. I've talked to Coach Kurt Penny, our offensive coach, and he wants me to put me in many different situations on the floor, and he has a keen eye for talent and stuff like that. So I just think I'll be able to be effective in this offense pretty well.
What are you working on the most this offseason? Like, what are you in the lab with?
Probably ball handling and playmaking, making decisions more on the ball, playing more on the ball, handling the ball, coming off screens, getting in the paint, be able to, dish out, things like that, making decisions. Just keep working on my jump shot, getting to the rim, really just everything, but mostly my guard skills.
Let's talk defensively for a second. You mentioned the versatility. What do you feel comfortable maybe guarding? Certainly you're switchable with the length, the frame, the quickness. Do you think 1 through 4 is kind of where you're at?
Yes, I would say, I can guard 1 through 4 for sure.
And another thing that really comes up watching you on film is the shot protection, the rim protection. A lot of weak side rim protection, but also on ball. I feel like that's something that is unique about your game. Is you can really come over and challenge shots at the apex of someone coming in to finish.
For sure. Yeah, that's something I've always been a pretty good shot blocker. I think high school I averaged like 4 or 5 blocks a game. So I've just always been a pretty good shot blocker, and I just want to bring that to Wisconsin.
Better feeling putting somebody on a poster or blocking a big shot?
Poster, block, a big shot. Poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, poster.
I can imagine. Having never done that, I can imagine. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back with Xavier. A bunch more to talk about with the fit in Madison, teammates, who else is coming in the portal. But first, a quick break for our friends of the show over at FanDuel. FanDuel is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs. It is Locked On's official sports book for a reason. It's fast, it's easy, it's simple. That's who we go to anytime we want to use, if we want to spice up the sports weekend a little bit, we go over to FanDuel. Futures, parlay, spreads, teasers. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets if you're winning $5 bet hits. That's $200 you can use on futures, parlay, spreads. Listen, if you got a good feeling about the Badgers this year, Xavier coming in, a really talented transfer class, maybe put a future on them to get into that Big Ten tournament, maybe put a future in them in March Madness. We're going to talk about that next with Xavier coming up on Locked On Badgers. Definitely want to give you an opportunity, man. Where can people follow you? I have your Twitter down there. Anywhere else that people can follow you?
Instagram, XA Amos, no caps, and that's it. Instagram and Twitter.
I wanted to ask you this. So obviously you were a huge part of what Northern Illinois did last year, but that was a team that you guys had a few struggles, right, working through the season. Do you feel more pressure coming from that situation to a Wisconsin team that was a 5 seed last year that has been in the tournament essentially every year over the last 2 decades?
I feel the most pressure really on myself. I want to be able to show and prove that I could, play at this level. And that's what I really want. I want to prove it to myself. So I wouldn't really count it as pressure, but it's more like I want to, prove it to myself that I can, hang with these guys.
Well, then leading into that, what are your goals year one? Like when you say I want to prove it to myself, what does that look like for you?
I just want to have, impact the team as much as I can so we can get to the dance, get that, Big Ten championship, get to the, Final Four championship of, the NCAA championship, all that. I just want to win. I want to win. That's my goal. So, any way I can do that, whether that's averaging 2 points or 20s, I just want to, be able to help the team win.
What do you think your teammates would say about you? Like, what do you want your teammates to say about you?
I just want to be I want to be like a good teammate, of course. I want to be sort of a leader. It's kind of, harder right now because, I just, joined the team. But I want to, I'm one of the older guys, so I want to, come in and try to lead a little bit, influence, lead by example. I'm the type to lead by example. So, come in and lead, be a good teammate, help everybody out, just make sure we're getting better every day.
I know you're really still kind of learning the teammates, but Cap C asks, best teammate so far, or any teammates that you've really kind of connected with so far?
I don't have a best teammate. I love all the guys. I'm not gonna do that, but I love all the guys. Cam, I was talking to him before I got here. So Cam, I talked to JB's son too. John. So yeah, but I love all my teammates. They all great guys, and I love being with them.
And speaking of that transfer class, obviously Cam Hunter, the point guard coming in, John Tonje. What does that transfer class feel like to you guys?
What do you mean?
The 3 players coming in, Cam Hunter, Tonje. What is the vibe kind of integrating into the team, the roster?
Oh, we all on the same page. We just focused on the in the weight room. We just got finished lifting today. We just all locked in on the weight room. Make sure we stand in the gym working on our skills and just making sure we locked in because this is the time where we where we just got to work for right now. Then because it's just workout season. But yeah.
Who are you most excited to play in the Big Ten from the Smart Fool?
I ain't gonna lie to nobody. I just every game the same to me. I don't really look forward to anybody. I don't have no beef with nobody or nothing like that. So it's all I look forward to playing everybody. Everybody the same to me. I don't look at anybody different than anybody else.
That's an awesome answer. This one is from, I like this question here. In your basketball journey, when did you realize you're going to be a high major player? Was there a moment in AAU in high school? When did that click for you and say, this could be a whole career path for me?
Even probably my last year of AAU, when I played I played Keontae George, Chris Livingston. I think I played one of the other, higher ranked players, and we beat both of their teams at AAU. So I was really like, oh, I could really hang with these guys. It was really my first time, playing these guys. Like, as we were older, playing these guys. So, I went to NIU, but I knew that's where the place I was supposed to be. And yeah, I knew in my mind that I could hang at this level.
Let me ask you this: a lot of players that transfer from a spot up maybe to a power conference, power four conference, they say they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. And I know you said you just are trying to prove that to yourself. You're trying to be self-motivated with this. But do you feel like you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I always try to play with a chip on my shoulder, try to work harder than the next man. I just always try to stay in the gym, fine tune my skills as much as I can. Stay in the weight room. I've been in the weight room a lot this off season. I'm about 220 pounds, so I gained about 10, 12 pounds since last year. So I'm really, really locked into this, and I'm ready.
What are the physical goals? Like, how big do you want to get, do you think?
Well, playing, I want to maintain between 218 to 225 ish. When the season starts, because my weight, fluctuates a lot. So I want to make sure I'm around 220 when I'm playing.
Some of the Big Ten teams that you played, you mentioned obviously Northwestern. You had a great game against Northwestern. You also played Iowa, and you mentioned Marquette as well. Not a Big Ten team, but a big program. The Big Ten has a reputation for physicality. Is that something you noticed in those games, and is that something you're ready for this year?
I guess I noticed more with Iowa.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I noticed more with Iowa. Not necessarily Northwestern or Marquette, but yeah, Iowa for sure. Yeah.
And is that something is that partially why you feel like you're trying to get a little bigger, or is that just a natural progression of who you are and you're still kind of growing into your body?
Yeah, I'm still young. I'm only 19, so I'm still, growing into my body, and I'm getting my, grown man body. And also, I just know as I progress and the level, gets higher, and players that get playing against gets harder, you're gonna have to change you're gonna get out your comfort zone and change your body sometimes because that's what it calls for, especially in the Big Ten with the physicality, like you said. Like I need to do this for myself for sure.
Oh, that's really well said. Let me ask you this: go-to move. They swing the ball to you. Maybe you're isolated on the left wing, whatever it is. What's your go-to move?
I always like to start off with a jab. Uh, Jab, shot fake. Sometimes I do like a hang, hesitation, dribble, or jab, shot fake, jab, and then I'll shoot it, or then something like that. Or if I'm in the mid post, I do like a little shimmy,
Mm-hmm.
shimmy jab in the thing in the mid post, and then drive it. Yeah.
No, that jab on film, you're constantly keeping defenders off balance with that. It's a really nice move that you perfected. And then another thing I like about your game is you have a lot of finesse near the rim. Like you have the ability to step through, jump hop, off 2 feet, 1 foot, finish with either hand. I feel like that's kind of a unique ability for a stretch forward that can't always finish at the rim. Where did that come from?
I feel like this is always talent that I've had, that's been a part of me, since I've been playing basketball for real. I told you I never really was, shooting the ball too well, prior to college, so like I wasn't really consistent, but so I always had the ability to finish, the athleticism to do it. Um, then it just kind of came into fruition, in college, and I just, kind of make sure I fine tuned it and make sure, it was as good as it can be.
Have you watched any, Badgers basketball from last year? Have you put any film on to kind of see what the offense looks like, and what has that experience been like?
It's actually, a little similar to, how we did offense at NIU. That's why I've already, I think I could be good in this offense, and that's kind of what drew me to Wisconsin because I already, kind of played in this, similar foundation of the offense, at my old school.
Ready for some lightning round questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Comfort food when you're ticked off and you just got to eat something to feel better.
Taco.
I love it. Thing about Madison that surprised you the most?
How beautiful it was in the lakes. I haven't really walked around the lake, but like it's beautiful out here.
Funniest coach?
Coach Sharif.
Who wins a dunk contest on this roster?
Ooh.
And is it you?
I can't tell you that right now. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be up there for sure though.
Well, let me ask you this. In a dunk contest, what are you going to? What are you pulling out of the bag?
I'm not really a flashy dunker. I could pull out a windmill, 360, something like that. I'm not really too much of a flashy dunker, but like I never really practiced it, but I could pull something out of there.
What was the most difficult part of the recruiting process and going into the portal? What was the most difficult part of that?
Just trusting, hearing a lot of coaches and trusting what they're saying. Because I was in there for a long time. I talked to a lot of different coaches, and they say one thing, and then it turns out it's not what it is. So just really trusting, what they're saying, and just keeping a small circle.
It's the worst game of basketball you can ever remember playing at any level.
Probably this past year we played Northern Iowa, and I fouled out at the beginning of the second half with no points.
What were they good calls?
No, most of them. I think 3 of them weren't even fouls. Like as soon as the second half started, they called me for something that was messed up, and then the next possession I got another foul and fouled out.
That's awesome. It's great self-awareness. What do you do when you have a frustrating game moment? Like, how do you? A lot of athletes think about it, they reflect on it, or they flush it away. Like, how do you handle frustration?
Well, if it was if I feel like I had a bad game, I'll normally, I listen to a lot of music, so I'll do that, and then I'll get in the gym and try to work on, different parts of my game that I feel like wasn't working in the past game, and just make sure it's good for the next game.
What is your shoe preference to hoop in? That's from Roll Bucky.
Like brand?
Yeah, your shoe preference to hoop in, if you got one.
I like Nikes. What's this? I like Kyrie's. That's my favorite shoe.
Okay. Hidden talent, something outside of basketball.
I'm a good tennis player. I played tennis when I was younger.
Dude, I could see you as a fearsome tennis player. You got reach, you got foot speed.
Yeah, I played tennis when I was younger, a little bit.
By the net, you'd be a disaster for people.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
Yeah, I love it. Video games, yes or no?
Yes, I don't play them as much as I used to, but yes.
What's your favorite game?
2K, reluctantly.
I love it. Athlete that you maybe not look up to, but that you really enjoy watching.
Kyrie. I mean, not Kyrie. KD. Kyrie too, but KD, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard.
All right, last 2 questions here. Somebody in your life that has been an incredible mentor to you.
My parents, for sure.
How were they on the decision to Wisconsin?
How did they like the decision?
Yeah, how involved were they? And then
they was with me this whole process, both of them, and I fully appreciate both of them, love both of them, and thank both of them for helping me get to Wisconsin.
Last question here. Message for Badger fans.
We getting that chip this year, so be ready.
Dude, I love it.
Let's do it.
He is Xavier Amos. Again, go follow him. The Twitter account's there. We'll also link his other social profiles. Big time addition to this upcoming basketball season for the Badgers in the front court. Xavier, thank you so much, man, for jumping on. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.